Hey everyone, this is Coach Mark Nolan, and welcome back to another episode of our podcast series. And today is part 2 called To Reclass or Not to Reclass. And parents, in part 1, I introduced the question of to reclass or not to reclass from our Fear of Being Behind podcast just last week. But today I want to slow this conversation down even further because reclassifying has become one of the most misunderstood decisions in youth and, yes, high school athletics. And you know what? This episode is not about telling families what to do. It's about helping you understand how to think about the decision before pressure, fear, and even outside voices make it for you. And see, here's the problem with how reclassifying is being presented by many people. And I see this more and more each week when I'm out and about. Reclassifying is often presented as, well, it's a great shortcut. It's a competitive advantage. Or it's a way to catch up. Or even a necessary move because everyone else is doing it. The problem is this. Reclassifying is not a strategy. It's got to be a long-term decision. And long-term decisions made under urgency usually create unintended consequences for both you and the athlete. And what reclassifying actually does, and it's not what people says, is this. Reclassifying does one thing. It changes the timeline. It does not automatically make your athlete better or improve their skill development, or guarantee exposure, or create recruiting interest, or even solve confidence or maturity gaps. Those things still require hard work, a great structure, great coaching, and patience. Because reclassifying only buys time. And time without a plan is rarely helpful. The question parents should be asking, but you know what they rarely do, is this. So instead of asking, should we reclassify, parents should be asking, what problem are we trying to solve as parents and for our child and athlete? If the answer is, well, skill development or physical growth or confidence or maturity, then the real question becomes, is reclassifying the best way to solve that? Or are there better options? And you know what? Often there are. And this is what I want to talk about, the hidden costs that parents aren't told about reclassifying and its effect on them and their children. Can affect graduation timelines, social development, academic positioning, recruiting windows, eligibility rules, and yes, financial implications for both you and your athlete. And look, none of those are bad by default, but they rarely are explained clearly before families are encouraged to move quickly. And this is where I see parents get caught off guard, and off guard later on, especially with the NCAA, because you're building pressure versus clarity. And one of the biggest red flags I see is urgency. When families are told, you know what, you need to decide right now. Or if you don't reclass, you'll fall behind. Or this is your only option. Now, that's usually pressure and not real guidance, because clarity never rushes. Good decisions can withstand time. And this is what I want parents to take away on this part about reclassifying. Look, reclassifying can be right for some families. They can be harmful if done for the wrong reasons, and they should never be done out of fear. The goal is not to win this year. The goal is to position your child for a long-term development, especially in the athletics. And confidence helps with their opportunities. And in closing, if reclassifying is on your mind, please slow the process down. You got to ask better questions, and you have to understand the trade-offs and make sure the decision fits your child athlete and not someone else's timeline. And in the next conversations inside our parent community, we'll continue to break this down calmly, clearly, and without pressure. Because again, clarity always beats urgency. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to our podcast series. This is Coach Nolan signing off until next week, and have yourself an awesome day. Take care.